Hi guys, Mimi G here with another sew along. Today we're going to be working on one of my new summer simplicity patterns, pattern 8655. We're going to start with view A, the top. Now if you're new to sewing or you want to learn to sew, make sure and visit sewitacademy.com. If you just need a refresher course, please visit the Sewing Basics video linked in the description box below. Okay guys, we're going to be working on pattern 8655 and we're going to be doing view A, which is this really gorgeous fun top to make. And the beauty of it is we don't need any buttons or zippers. So let's go over the pattern pieces that you're going to need. Please remember that on the back of the envelope, we have a list of fabric suggestions and fabric yardage requirements, along with any notions that you might need for this project. We're gonna need pattern piece number 1, which is the front of our blouse. You're going to need pattern piece number 2, which is the back. And pattern piece number 3, which is our sleeve. Just 3 pattern pieces. Okay, so we're going to start with our first piece, which is the front, and it has the long extension for the front tie. So what we're going to do is you're going to do a narrow hem along the entire front edge. So you could do this 2 ways. You can serge it and then turn under the seam allowance and stitched once, or you can do a double fold narrow hem, so you could fold and then fold again and then stitch close to the edge. I like for my top stitching to be on the top, so I like to press my double hem so that I can stitch from the top, and then I just feel where my little ridge is so that I know that I'm catching the underneath. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. You're going to finish off the other side the same way. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and grab your single fold bias tape, and we're going to pin it to our neckline. So the right side of your bias tape should be facing the right side of your back. And I'm just going to pin in the middle. And then I usually take this to my ironing board and I press my bias tape so that it takes shape and curves a lot easier. And now I want you to go to your sewing machine and you're going to use 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and you're going to stitch along your neckline. Okay, I went ahead and sewed my bias tape and I trimmed my seam allowance and then I pressed my bias tape up towards the top. Now go ahead and grab your fronts and we're going to pin our shoulders. So of course right sides are facing. Align your notches. Once you have your shoulder pinned, go ahead and stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You're going to pin and sew your other shoulder the same way. Okay, I've sewn my shoulder together and now I'm going to take my bias binding and I'm going to turn it over and then stitch through all layers. Now if you want, you can go ahead and finish your seam allowance by using your serger, and then you can turn this to the right side, which will bring your facing to the back. Okay, so I went ahead and pressed my seam allowances towards the back, and I went ahead and pressed my bias binding and then stitched close to the edge. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our sleeves. Grab one of your sleeves and with right sides facing, go ahead and align that notch and we're going to pin. Now just in a straight line, you're going to stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You're going to pin and sew your other sleeve the same way. Okay, once you have your sleeve sewn in, we're literally going to just fold in half. And I'm going to pin matching my underarm seams. Pin your sleeve, then continue pinning your side seam. And you're going to pin your other underarm and side seam the same way, and using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to stitch in one continuous seam. Okay, once your side seams are sewn, the only thing left for you to do is to do a double fold across the entire bottom. So we're going to double fold across the front, and you can press it the way that I do, and then along the entire hem, and then of course you're going to do the same double hem finish on your sleeve. So I have pressed the double rolled hem on my front tie and along the entire hem. And now we're going to stitch. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. I'm going to pivot. You're going to continue until you reach the other end of your front tie. Okay, I finished off the entire hem and then went ahead and did a double rolled hem on the sleeve. All that's left for you to do is to tie your pretty bow and you are all done. That's all there is to it. I hope you've enjoyed this sew along, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at MimiGStyle, and please tag me in all of your creations using hashtag MimiGStyle. Until next time, peace.